Alright guys, here's another look at the 91 Grand Wagoneer. This is the final edition, so they built them like through starting in the 60s through the early 90s. This is the last year of them. This was the first luxury SUV before the Grand Cherokee, before the Explorer, before the Yukon Denali or the Escalade or any of the foreign automakers brought in luxury SUVs. So they ran pretty much untouched from the 60s through the 90s. They had a little bit different grille and dashboard, but the body is largely the same. And as you can tell, the interiors in these are pretty nice. They have, by the final edition, they had power seats, power mirrors, power locks, power windows, AC. They had this kind of overhead console thing. The seats are really comfortable in this. It's pretty big in here for kind of a classic car. The dash in the later ones is kind of this more 90s style with the block gauges. I will say I do like the 80s dash a little bit better. It's a little more classic. My favorite part about this car is the horn. It's just the best sounding horn. This one has a Pioneer head unit in it, and and the speakers have been redone. It does have air conditioning. It's got shift on the fly 4-wheel drive, which is pretty cool. You don't have to lock the hubs. It's got the smoker's windows. Sounds great. And this thing gets up and moves pretty well. I mean, it pretty much drives. It can keep up with traffic. You could drive this car as a daily driver, no problem. I would say the biggest kind of drawback with these is just how floaty they are on the road. Like, you really have to put some steering input to keep it in a straight line. But other than that, it has plenty of power, rides smooth, fairly well insulated in there. You don't feel like you're in an ancient car. Although I will say, like, some of the seals around the windows and things, like, you don't really want to take this through a car wash, or you will get some water on the interior. I'll open the hood. So these have a V8. I'm not sure what size. It looks like a small block Chevy to me, just a pushrod V8. Pretty small. Got your air conditioner, power steering. Got your alternator. It's actually a double belt on the alternator. This one's been converted to throttle body injection, so no more carburetor. Also had the radiator upgraded to prevent overheating. Look how the hood shakes on it. And you do kind of get that when you're going down the road. It does kind of shake a little bit when you're going down the road. You can see the headlights have been changed out. It's that more blue looking light. It's got the fog lamps on there. And like I said, like, my cousins who own this thing, they really use it as a real car. Like, they take it on the beach. They pretty much daily drive it out there. So it's not babied at all. Although it is one of the more desirable ones, being the final edition. It's got the Montana plates on it, of course. I am told that they're supposed to sit a lot higher than this. that maybe the leaf springs are a little bit collapsed. Take a look at the back seat. There isn't a ton of room back here. I mean, granted, I do have the seats all the way back, but it's just a really cool feeling car. It's like a vintage SUV, which is what it is. But it has kind of this greenhouse effect with the very small pillars and no tint, square windows, but really pretty doors. One thing I will say is like the build quality is not the best on them. You know, all the metal is heavy duty, like the door handles and the body panels and stuff, but like wherever there's plastic, it just is like the cheapest plastic that you can imagine. Like up here, it feels like a toy that my grandmother would have in her basement from the 50s that is still around, but it just feels like it's gonna disintegrate in your hand, especially the turn signal. I feel like I'm gonna break it every time. It has 103,000 miles. Has been rebuilt. Your glove box is in the middle there. There's no glove box over there. Very short dash, which is kind of typical for Jeeps. And then it has this little, I guess at one point this works, this little computer thing. I imagine this section was only the last couple generations. The horn, very floaty steering, just kind of wafts around, but it's fun to drive, and you know, it doesn't feel too far off of like an early 2000s car, which is pretty remarkable given the design for these came out, you know, like 50 years ago. One thing, the rear glass rolls down, and then you open the rear hatch once the rear glass is rolled down, and it kind of folds out like a Range Rover, which is great for tailgating, going on the beach and stuff. But it is a drawback because if this glass stops working, you can't get into the back, which happened this summer. And the way you roll it down is there's a separate key that goes in here, and you turn it, and then that rolls down the window, and then you open it from the inside, which is a little different, and can be a pain if that glass stops working. It's got a nice roof rack on there. You really want to keep these inside or with a cover on them. You don't want to keep them out in the rain because they're not the tightest. They're not watertight by any means, but just a really cool classic car, and everybody loves them. It's reminiscent of, you know, kind of the early 90s and the beginning of the soccer mom SUV, which I think is a pretty popular segment in the collector car world. So yeah, it's been great. Really no issues, just oil changes and basic stuff. We had to fix the tailgate. The wiring in some places is just old, and the insulation kind of breaks down, which can be a problem. But really good platform, really good. You can pick them up pretty cheaply. I know this one was expensive because it's the final edition and kind of got ripped off buying it, but you can find them for like 15, 20 that need some work, and great candidate for engine swapping and lifting and all those things. So there she is. She's almost going into winter hibernation, but thought I'd show you a video before she does. And looks good in the fall.